his dark contrast edging ideal side, his, whose is? Or is some more shadow? It is he. His dark contrast edging ideal side, deep and unuttered meanings to the heart. So, deep and unuttered meanings to the heart. Why all that? There is a meaning, there is a purpose, there is significance behind all that, and it is that significance which is justified by all these things. You are scared of darkness, you are afraid of it, you complain, you grumble, you cry, you weep. So what? There is a greater meaning behind all that. Enhanced by his dark contrast, aging ideals, deep and unuttered. It has not been expressed, but it is there. By saying unuttered, he has really uttered. He has really revealed the significance of it. What was supposed to be held back, he has loosened by saying unuttered. Unuttered meanings to the heart. Pain grew a trembling undertone of bliss. That is the beauty of it, you see. Yes, I am there. Trembling undertone of bliss. So it is not really pain, it is another form of bliss. You are not able to see it, feel it, sense it, because you are not developed your feelings, your sensitivities, your instruments of cognition, of understanding. But pain is another form of bliss, undertone of bliss. And transience, immortality is floating hem, you see. You call this world anityam nasokham. Gita says this world is anityam nasokham, anityam, transient and sorrowful world. Anityam, transient, asokham, sorrowful world. You call it transient and sorrowful world, but behind that there is the hem of immortality. A moment's robe in which she looked more fair, she, Savitri. So she is looking now really brighter than what she is. Because of this somber shadow, her full glow of divinity is becoming more powerful, more blazing, more visible because of this somber shadow. In which she looked more fair, so she is already beautiful, but she is now more fair. Here also again, more fair is more important than fairer. She looked fairer. She looked, that will not do. Its antithesis, sharpening her divinity. So the contrast of shadow is against her divinity. In other words, divine as the shadow is seen by divine as the incarnate. So the incarnate divine looks more beautiful in the background of divine as a shadow, obviously. So you put a black cloth behind it and take a picture, it looks brighter, see. It looks brighter. Yeah. Yeah, like a night sky. The stars are bright because there is night inside, because there is darkness. Otherwise, they won't be bright.
But that's our world of contrast.
Yeah, because we are not developed those faculties. That pain is an undertone of bliss. Pain is an undertone of bliss. We are not developed faculties.
It's easy to write it. It's easy to write it, but we have to live it.
Yeah. A comrade of the ray and mist and flame. Comrade of the ray and mist and flame. A comrade, the ray and mist and flame. What a line, see? By a moonlight's face, a brilliant moment drawn. So Savitri, as it is a kind of a moon there, and her face is drawn with that. By a moonlight face, a brilliant moment drawn. Almost she seemed a thought. So this comrade, who is comrade? She. She is the comrade. A comrade, that is she, is the she is the comrade of ray and mist and flame. By moonlight. So although it is passing through night, because it is a twilight, there is a moonlight also perhaps. Almost she seemed a thought, made floating thoughts, seen hardly by a visionary mind, amid the wide inward musing to the soul, half vanquished by the dreamed happiness around. A while she moved on an enchantment soil. So that is the enchantment, that is the spell, that is the illusion, that is the indajal of the black magic or the white magic, what do you want to call it? Which is cast on her. Enchantment soil. But still remain, that is the point. Although there is a spell on her, she remains always the possessor of her soul. She never loses contact with that. In words, neither death, who is there in front of her, neither the somber shadow all around can suppress her soul. It remains. So, as long as your psychic is very alert, very powerful, you have absolutely no fear that you can go into the densest darkness and walk straight to that without any fear, without any difficulty. That is what your mother says. Still remain possessor of a soul. Still remain possessor of a soul. Still, because in spite of this powerful spell of this somber shadow, she remains possessor of a soul.
Is the void a synonym for the Maya?
It is a kind of mind. He says mind. It is the mind which has created Maya.
But what we call Maya is the mind.
Yeah, it's mind. Well, actually, it is an occult thing. It is not just mind, it is by itself there, black magic. Black magic, it's not mind, it is a thing. It belongs to the mental vital place. Now, still remain possessor of her soul. So you can see now, her soul to be weighed against the somber shadow. Yes, the somber shadow is there, but still her soul is in her possession. So although the Supreme Himself has taken that form, that Supreme is not going to, cannot dim her soul. Above her spirit is mighty trance. So while this is happening, for human Savitri walking to the realms of her, above the divine Savitri, the divine God, above her spirit in its mighty trance saw all, but lived for his transcendent trust. Why all that thing? Because there is a task, transcendent task. There is a mission. The somber shadow has created all these things for a purpose, and that purpose has to be fulfilled. That is the transcendent task. Immutable, like a fixed, eternal star. She is firm, still firm, like a fixed, eternal star. A star which cannot be dimmed by any night, not even by the shadow. Eternal star, fixed star. That is pole star, what we see, fixed star. Pole star remains fixed, you see. This is the pole star. That remains fixed. So in spite of all these things everywhere here around, the cosmos, The entire universe may be speeding through light years and light years and light years, but a star remains fixed in the entire universe. The pole star. What we call in the Indian language is Dhruva Tara. Pole star is Dhruva Tara. Dhruva. Dhruva is the name of a person and the star is named after him. Dhruva Tara, fixed star. The story is a Puranic story. You want to hear it? See, his father, he was a king, Dhruva. He was a boy of maybe 5, 6, 7 years old or so. His father had two queens. One was a fawn queen, the other one was all right, you see, she was there. Now, on one occasion, the father took this boy Dhruva on his lap. His stepmother, when she saw it, that this boy, not my son, but this boy is in the lap of the king, she understood that he is going to be the king tomorrow. He is going to be the king tomorrow. She didn't like it. She didn't want it that way. She wanted her son. So she snatched him away from his lap. And Dhruva felt very insulted, so to say, a young boy of 7 years. And then immediately he left the palace, went to the forest, and plunged into deep meditation. So, as usual, Narad passes by and sees this boy sitting there in meditation, doing tapasya. There, Narad gives him the mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That is the mantra given by Narad to Dhruva. And he repeats that mantra constantly. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudeva is all there. Let my salutations be in him constantly. All this is Vasudeva, Vasudeva, Vasudeva. That is exactly the experience Shabindu had in Alipur jail. Vasudeva experience. The all-pervasive Brahman, that is the Vasudeva, Narayana, Vasudeva, Vasudeva everywhere. That was the experience he had. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And he kept on chanting that mantra for 7 years continuously, that boy. At the end of 7 years, Vishnu was pleased and he appeared in front of him. Yes, here I am. Ask what you want. Dhruva said, no, I'm sorry, I don't want anything. That you have come and given me your darshan, that itself is sufficient for me. What else do I want? You have appeared in front of me. What else do I want? I don't want anything at all. You have given me your own darshan here. I don't want anything at all. But then Vishnu was in a puzzle. After having appeared in front of the devotee or the worshipper, he has to grant him a boon. He says, look, I can't go away without giving you a boon.
Oh, that's good. Stay there.
I can't go away, so you have to ask me something. And then he said, give me a place in the world from where I will not be moved. I will not be moved. moved, taken away, shaken. I want to be here. I will be here always, permanently. Nobody will come and move me away from that place.
Move me away.
Nobody will come and move me away from that. I was sitting in the lap of my father. Somebody comes and snatches. I want a place now here that nobody will be able to move me away from that place. For Vishnu, it was a very easy matter. You want a fixed place, all right, you will have a fixed place. The pole star.
Oh, I don't think he wanted that one.
Yeah, pole star. Pole star. So fixed star. So he got that position fixed. That is why we call it Dhruva Tara. Dhruva, that is the name of the boy. Tara means star.
What's he going to do there?
He says, I want fixed place, that's all right.
What's he going to do there?
Because I'll be always seeing you. I'll be always seeing you.
Oh no.
So, therefore, actually, that is what I have been telling you always, that you may worship a god. The god may appear in front of you. He will give you a boon and all that thing. Now, the responsibility is actually more on you than on God. What kind of boon you want?
Yeah.
You go to Samadhi and say, I want a fan. Okay? You want a fan? You want a fan? All right. Chit is given. Go to the prosperity room, they will give you a fan. So that is what happens, you see. So it depends entirely upon the person who goes to Samadhi, what exactly you want from the Samadhi. What should they give you? So actually that is what needs the greatest tapasya, the yoga. To demand that kind of a boon which will really mean something. So for giving a position, fixed position like that was a very easy matter for Vishnu.
How disappointing.
Yeah, he wanted, okay, take it. He was a boy after all, you see. He was a boy after all. He was a boy only, so it was all right, you see. This is a story narrated in Vishnu Purana. In Vishnu Purana. So that was so the basic responsibility is on us, what exactly we want from the giver of the boon. When Ashwapati goes to the divine goddess and prays to her, she says, look, you have come here, it's too early for you to come. Things will happen in the course of time. You go away, do your own tapasya, remain engaged, and do whatever best you can do for the world. Time will take care of everything. Don't worry, I am there, it's my creation. Nothing will happen there. Don't worry about it. But Ashwapati says, I am sorry, I am not going to accept your advice. I am going to demand something from you. I want something from you. And then he says, what I want is your incarnation in this world, in the mortal. You should come down in the mortal world. That is what he demands. That is the demand he is making. And she then condescends, agrees. Now it is such a yogic demand that she can't refuse. She, after having appeared in front of him, she has to give what he wants. What he wants, you see. He wants, please come down. Well, she is helpless. She has to come down. She comes down as Savitri. One shall descend. Oh, the Sandra. She comes down, you see. So it entirely depends upon when you are worshipping, you are doing puja, whatever it is, it depends upon what kind of fruit you want from that. It is important. In fact, it means that you have to start all your puja, your tapasya, your yoga, or your sadhana, whatever you want to call it, with a purpose in your soul, not in your mind, in your soul. And then build up everything around it, about it. And it is that which will be fulfilled. The mother Right from her childhood, she demanded only one thing from the Divine Lord, the divine manifestation upon earth. That is all I want. That is all I want. And then, of course, she has to prepare for all that long. But right from her childhood, that is her demand. Lord, let your will be done in this creation. That is demand. So that needs tremendous yogic capacity to build up your own aim. See, that is important. Once that is understood, then things start moving in that direction. Every kind of help is then given to you. Above her spirit in its mighty trance, so the Supreme Savitri saw all, this whole panorama, but lived for his transcendent task, immutable, like a fixed eternal star.